Well, good afternoon, everybody. Chuck here with No Time to Be Sad, and today I want to talk to you guys about some maybe not such a so happy day here in Thailand. I want to talk to you guys about living with amongst Thai people, Thai relationships with Western mindsets. That's me. I share everything with you guys, and, I just share day-to-day stuff. I share kind of problems that we have throughout our time here and how I get through them. And most of the things that just show everyday life. Most of our time here, about 95% of our time, is just traveling, enjoying the moment, and not really thinking too much. But let me tell you where there's a problem. And I didn't think I could really deal with this. Let me kind of start back from the beginning. I didn't think I could deal with this when I first started kind of dating my Thai wife. It was the whole like sabay, just worry about the moment type, whatever happens type thing. I don't know. I didn't really get that. I didn't understand that. And it's like, oh, don't worry about it. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. It'll all work out. And in my mind, it was like, it's going to work out because I'm going to make it work out. Like, there's no way it's just going to happen. Like, things don't work on their own. You have to make them work. You have to find a problem, fix a problem, and be successful. And anyway, we had a couple of. We didn't really butt heads. It was like, what? When I was trying to get retired, it was a very, very stressful time in my life. A lot of work, 14-hour days, 7 days a week. When I wasn't out working, I was at home working. It was just I wasn't super stressed. It was just, I had a mission, and nothing was going to stop me until I completed my mission. Of course, Paige was always there to listen to me vent. She helps me a lot with calming down and not worrying so much about stuff. So, she has helped me a lot. And being in Thailand has really changed me. I'm a completely different person than I was when I moved here. If you guys saw the earlier videos, I was like a nervous wreck, but I was worse than that before I met Paige. I have a point I want to talk about. I want to talk about a little instance today, but I just want to explain, you really have to have a lot of patience, I think, to be in a relationship from a Western mindset to a Thai mindset. They don't think like us. They're I'm not saying everybody, and not all Westerners are the same, and not all Thai people are the same. I have a lot of really aggressive Thai friends that are business oriented. They own condos, they own restaurants, they own homestays. We got friends that have hotels, all kinds of stuff, bars. There are a lot out there, but in general, it's kind of like just let it flow and see where it ends up, kind of mindset. Paige is not a dumb person at all. I consider her to be a lot smarter than me when it comes to a lot of things, She has a great personality, always happy, very rarely gets angry. She has a few times at me. But all in all, she makes the relationship work pretty good. And for me, I don't like confrontation. I try not to complain too much. A lot of times I do without. I don't really, it's not that important to me to try to push the issue most of the time. So I just kind of go with the flow. I think that's the best way to be in a relationship with a Thai person. It's just, you got to kind of be easy, laid back, and just whatever, They think completely different than us. There's just no doubt about it. before I ramble on too much, and I can give you a bunch of scenarios, but let me just tell you what happened this morning and why I'm not really in a good mood. I was going to make a video this morning. I had a Norwegian subscriber staying down the road, really nice guy. Maybe we'll meet him later on today in this video, or I'll introduce him to you guys. Young guy. And anyway, so Paige we have a problem with our bed. And the problem is that actually it's not me, it's her, because Paige does most of the housework. And, you know, I try to do what I can, I guess. It's not really the one thing about Thai tradition is the women always feel like they've got to cater to the man. They always take care of the man, make sure the man's happy. That's not a bad thing. That's something that I'm not used to in the Western world. You know, I'm used to what can you do to make me happy today, you know, type relationship. Not saying everybody, but it seems like the relationships that I've been in, that's been a challenge to make my significant other happy day to day. I don't really have that problem with Paige, and that's kind of why I'm with her, is because she's happy and she makes me happy. But she does most of the housework, I will say, when we're home. I mean, to be honest with you, there's not a lot I do. Paige does the laundry. She has a routine where she gets up and she sweeps and mops. And I make the bed in the morning. But she changes the sheets, and usually I get out of bed later than her, so that's why I make the bed. You know, if the trash is full, I take the trash out. You know, stuff like that. If something needs fixed, I fix it. I guess we all have our little duties, but Paige does most of the house cleaning. I try not to keep dragging stuff out, but when she changes the sheet, she can't pick up the mattress to get the sheet underneath the mattress. So she bought a topper for it. So our mattress doesn't have a sheet on it, just the topper has a sheet on it. It's so she doesn't have to try to pick it up. And she told me this a while back, and I looked at it, and the brackets and stuff looked like a little bit difficult. And we went on a trip and I just forgot about it. So she reminded me the other day by saying she was going to buy a small little mattress, a thin mattress, and she wanted it underneath the bed so that it raises it up off of this lip so that she could pick the mattress up a little bit and stuff the sheet underneath it. Because now she can't pick it up over this lip that's about 2 centimeters. She can, but it's difficult, you know, and she doesn't want to do it. And I guess she doesn't want to ask me, because she's never asked me to do it, or she's waiting for me to volunteer. For me, she's not making a big deal about it, and I don't know what to do. So we've come to this point today. Yesterday, I said, look, don't buy the mattress. She said it was 1,000 baht, which is nothing. I said, don't buy the mattress, let me look at it. So this morning, I take everything off. The mattress, I set everything up against the wall. I take the wood planks off of the bottom where the mattress sits on top of. And I'm looking at it going, okay, there's some metal bars here. I'll show you a picture of it. There's some metal bars here. What I can do is get maybe 6 pieces of wood, 78 centimeters long by 2 centimeters, or 1.5 centimeters high. And then that'll make it flush once I can screw the wood on top of those little pieces of wood to put on top of the metal brackets, and then that way it'll be flush and it won't make it so high. We'll just do it. I think that'll be the best way to do it. So she's like, okay. And actually I didn't tell her about the wood till I come downstairs, and I'm like, okay, I saw there was a wood shop somewhere, but I don't remember where it was, because they make, this place sells wood, and they make doors and window frames and stuff like that. I don't remember where it's at in town. So I'm downstairs, and Paige is making her coffee, and I grab a tape measure. I have the tape measure in my hand. I brought it downstairs because I was going to go try to find something. And we have this wooden shelf where my father-in-law keeps all his parts on. And I'm taking it and I'm measuring that. And then there's some of the framing on that. So I asked my father-in-law in Thai, I asked him, I said, is there a shop in town that has wood similar to this, like this kind of wood? And he's like, no. And so Paige is like, she comes over immediately and says, yeah, they don't sell wood anymore. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? She goes, they don't sell wood. I said, well, okay, well then I'll just use aluminum. And he's like, yeah, they have aluminum down the road. I said, well, I'll just go buy some pieces of aluminum. And she's like, well, is this going to cost more than me just buying a mattress? And just her saying that, it bothered me. I don't know why. I just felt like at the moment, I was like, you know, when you guys want something done, I do it. You know, you ask me to fix something, I fix it. You want me to replace a light, I replace a light. You want me to take you to the store, I take you to the store. You need to go to the doctor, I take you to the doctor. I mean, my mind is just going like all this shit that I do. Can somebody just point me to the direction where to get the wood and I'll fix the damn thing myself? You know, it's all I wanted to do. I was like, you know, I was like in the mode of like, I'm gonna do this mission, I'm gonna complete this mission, I just need to get the wood or whatever I need. The problem is like not a Home Depot or something where I can just go in and say, and I can talk to them and tell them what I need, you know, and a lot of things here, they don't really repair stuff. They can build stuff and they can replace stuff, but you know, to do repairs, it's like beyond their thinking, I think, you know. And I was just irritated, like, you know, I told Paige, I said, you know, before I met you, I've fixed a lot of things. I always did my own home repairs. Hell, I've just about built a home before. I didn't tell her, but I was like, I built a 30 by 65 foot barn by hand, by myself. You know, all I want is like a few pieces of wood. And my father was like, nope. And I'm thinking, you know, you guys could just say, well, we have a shop, you know, we've got a lot of stuff in the shop. Maybe you can come by the shop and see what you need. But it's just like, no, we don't have it. That's it, done. And I was just like, God dang it, you know. So I said, okay. I put the tape measure down and then I walked away and I went and got me another cup of coffee and I went and sat on the porch. And then the guy comes over from Norway, and I said, is this the guy that came over the other day? I'm really not in the mood to talk. I was not in a good mood. If you see this video, I'm just telling you, this morning I was not really in a good mood. I really had a really good conversation with him this morning, and hopefully we will continue it this evening. But I was like, I'm not in the mood to talk, you know. So I'm the type of person where I don't want to argue about it, and Paige knows this about me. I just don't want to talk about it. I get over it. I will get over it, unless it's something really, really bothers me that we need to talk about it. And the same with her too. But I was just like, I'm fine. I don't want to talk about it. You know. So after I didn't talk about it, they ate breakfast. I made a breakfast taco and sat down. And she come up behind me and hugged me. Go, you okay? I said, look. I said, let's just drop this. I said, I'm not in the mood to try to fix the thing anymore. I'm not going to fix it. So in order to fix this problem, just go ahead and order whatever you were going to order and we'll be done with it. And she's like, okay. And she goes, are you okay? I said, not yet. You know, and she's okay. She's doing her regular routine, but I don't get less weight. I'm not sensitive about a lot of things, but I think it's just like when you're a man and you're like, you want to fix something and nobody around you seems to give a shit. I don't know. Maybe I got insulted about it. I'm just talking to you guys. By the time this video comes out, I'll be way over it. But I was like, nobody, you know, can somebody just help? Don't just say no. Just say like, I don't know where a place is. I mean, my father-in-law lived here his entire life. You know, he doesn't know. I mean, I know he goes from A to B like every day, the same thing. I was like, come on, man, you know there's wood somewhere. You probably got some in your shop too. But it's just like no sense of urgency or anything when it comes to something that I want to do. And it's not just this instance. It was a lot of things in the past. Like I want to do, like, you know, I can give you one example from the very beginning. I wanted to learn how to speak Thai. I was asking a lot of questions, and everybody was getting frustrated with me because I'm trying to understand the language, not just mimic sounds. I wanted to understand the language so I can speak it. And I said, well, I need to find a teacher. Well, Paige first, you just need to find a teacher. So, well, I'll find a teacher. And everybody, I'm asking around with our friends and family, and they're like, no, there's not one in ThatPhanom. And I'm thinking, there's got to be somebody that, maybe a retired teacher or somebody that can help me in this town. And that's just how I am. When I get, like, I want something, it's, nothing's going to stop me. And I think like a day or two later, I found my perfect Thai teacher. She teaches kids, mostly younger kids that are Lao. She teaches them proper Thai, and she has a few foreign students, older people like French people. Some I don't know where they come from. I discovered her. I asked around, and somebody pointed me to her. And it's always like, oh, go here, go here, go here. She's never there. But I finally found her and went from there. And there's a lot of things. I was trying to build an e-bike. I was trying to fix the kitchen. It's like, why do you want to fix the kitchen? I'm like, just leave things alone. Like my mother-in-law and her friends sit on the floor cooking. So, okay, let me buy you a stool. Let me buy you a table. Let me buy you this. No, they just do the same thing that they've always done, So I had to learn to kind of back off from a lot of things, and just settle. But a few things I've wanted to do. The kitchen was one. Build the e-bike stuff, was another one. There's a couple things that I was a little hard-headed that I wanted to do and had to struggle through it trying to find all this stuff. I'm in another country. Nobody's sense of urgency is like mine. I'm in a place that, they don't really modify, well, I don't say modify stuff, but, if it's something that they don't know, they don't try to figure out a way to help you. They just say, nope, can't do it. It can't be done, or we don't have it, So it's frustrating. So you guys, if you're in a relationship and you can't speak any Thai, it's got to be even more difficult for both of you. Your girlfriend doesn't think anything like you, and you're blah, 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 blah. Maybe she understands you, but you don't understand her, And I don't have that problem with Paige because I never spoke really Thai to Paige. I always spoke English to her. And, but if I need to get something done, she hates to ask. She hates if I say, hey, can you just go ask this guy where this thing is? She doesn't like to do it. And it bothers me. Like, well, what? So you'd rather just walk around until we can't find it and then just leave? If there's a problem, like the guy came and did he did our kitchen, he did our bathrooms. I got some of the grout coming off of the windows, and she just doesn't want to call, She's like, well, maybe I have this white stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'll just figure out a way to do it myself, I don't know why. It's not like I'm asking you to call anybody and gripe them out. I'm just, maybe they'll come fix it, maybe they won't. But we need to have them do some other work here anyway, so I just said, okay, well, whenever they come replace our windows, I'll ask them about that, because, or I can just maybe I can match the grout and just do it myself, I guess. I don't know. I spent a couple $100,000 baht. Maybe they don't mind coming out and doing it. So it's just little things like that, and, I've had a couple of not run-ins with my father-in-law. Like, I've been a mechanic most of my life, and so one time somebody pulled up on well, actually, they went to the doctor and their car wouldn't start. I could hear click, 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 click. The battery is dead. So at the time, I didn't have my four-tuner, and I was driving my father-in-law's car around because he wanted me to practice, So I went and I knew he had jumper cables in the car, and I went and got the car, and he was home at the time. And I was like, let me just help this lady real quick. And when I popped the hood, he's like, oh, no, you can't. I'm like, okay. He goes, no, I'll call somebody to come do that. And I'm like, would it only take a second? Oh, no, you can't. And then he said that I will burn up the computer if I jump her car off and it'll kill his car. I'm like, no, actually that won't happen. But it's like I can't explain it to him. Like, that's just how he thinks. And I'm thinking, well, they wouldn't even make jumper cables if that was the case. If that was actually true, they wouldn't make jumper cables at all. So he had some guy come over with a battery on a dolly to start, and the lady had to sit there for like an hour waiting for the guy when I already had her started, And I was like, I wasn't like, well, you should listen to me, I've been a mechanic, but it was just a little insulting, like, how do you think I got along in my life, but that's okay. Out of respect, I would never go back and forth with him about stuff. No, we've tried to have some technical conversations. Some of the stuff I mentioned before, but he got all of his little tuk-tuks used to be they're 1 liter Daihatsu engines, gasoline engines. Some of them are natural gas that he converts, but they were all carbureted. And then they said, we're not going to be able to give you the carbureted engines anymore. We only have fuel injected engines. And it's a simple Bosch fuel injection system. I actually know almost everything about Bosch fuel injection systems. I've actually taught class on Bosch fuel injection systems. And it was just a simple little system, and he didn't know anything about it. And I told my father-in-law, I said, man, I would love to take this opportunity. I was telling Paige, I would like to take this opportunity to try to help you, I just need to come to the shop and see what you got, and we can figure out, how to put this thing together. And then, because he didn't know the PCM, he didn't know any of the stuff, Wires were cut all over the place. He just had no idea. And he's like, no. I'm like, okay, well, what are you going to do? He goes, oh, we're going to send a technician to Bangkok for a month or so and let him learn the system, and then we'll do that. I'm thinking, I could probably figure it out in a couple of days for you, but, it was just a little bit insulting. I didn't have nothing to do at the time in my life. I thought, well, I can help my father-in-law out, but no. There's a lot of examples of things, but I'm not having a good day today. A little irritated. It's not always easy when you have just two different different mindsets together. Got to try to make it work. Me and Paige have been together for 17 years now. That's quite some time. We rarely fight, and we're not fighting right now. We rarely argue, and we rarely fight. And I would say I'm probably a lot more difficult than Paige, but that's when she met me, that's how I am. And that was her first attraction to me, is that I wasn't lazy. I was a go-getter. I didn't need anybody to do anything for me. She had moved to America when she was 14, had really nobody really to help her get by. And she was with a Thai Lao family with a bunch of other people in the house, and she had to make her way, her and her brother. So she kind of respected what I was going through at the moment when we were together. But I'm a type of person where I don't like to take no for an answer. When I want to do something, that's it. I'm going to do it. And I've come a long way from there. I can tell you that right now. I'm really just enjoying being like the stupid kid in the corner. Just, people ask me, well, they say, hey, Chuck, don't you know what this is or that is? This is like, I guess, it's so easy to kind of look stuff up now. Like all I can do is talk to my phone and it'll give me the answer. I guess I just don't really care too much now about certain things to know this or know that. And I think that's what makes it easier for me to be here in this house with everybody. But just sometimes is I've got to step back and go, first off, I don't want to go move out. Like I could if I wanted to, but I don't really want to. This is perfect for me and Paige, just stay here at home base. We all really get along pretty good. Like I said, I'm probably the most difficult. They don't know what to do. They understand me now, and they kind of just back off. I think that's why they let me, I take off and go play golf or go ride my bike or I go out of town. Like, okay, he needs a break. 10, 9, 8, 7, But that's really how I am, guys. I know I seem like I'm maybe partially retarded, but I'm really not. I didn't get here because I was stupid. I got here because I was really ambitious and I'm goal-oriented and I don't like to take no for an answer. And I usually try to figure out a way to make it work, yeah, anyway, it's good to relax and not do those kind of things, but sometimes it's a pain in the butt. Okay, well, I vented to you long enough. I've seen a lot of my friends here go through relationships and they get irritated because they can't communicate and maybe they think their girl is stupid, but they're really not. It's just they don't think the same like us and they can't really communicate. We can't have, sometimes can't have a common intellectual conversation, for a couple reasons. We don't speak really the same language and we don't think the same. So it's difficult. It's difficult sometimes, but yeah, anyway, that's what's happening today. I'm almost over it. Yeah, just after lunch. Good morning, or now afternoon. We're gonna go walk down the river and go to Kuanui's, meet one of our subscribers over there.
Bird coming.
Yeah, it's bug time.
Bird time. He said, "You don't drink beer with me."
We went there last night, but he was closed.
It's one o'clock. We don't have tables outside. Whoop.
I'll never eat here. During COVID, the mother, I guess the old lady, she talked a bunch of shit about me being here whenever.
Over here?
About COVID, remember? Like, why am I out?
Oh, yeah.
Not being quarantined and this and that. It just irritated me. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Did you have a good day today?
Yeah, very good.
Christian from Norway. This is Paige.
You can choose Thailand. I'm not sure.
It's fine.
Fine.
Yeah. Okay, เดือน พบกันเดือนหน้า Her name is Dian, like month.
ข้าวต้มปลาไปกิน
ข้าวต้มปลา
กลับไปเนี่ยกินกันตัวน่ะคุณน่ะมันน่ารักจริงๆอ่ะ
มันน่ารักนะ
น่ารักไม่เห่า
Come on
มันไม่
ไป
เห่า
ไปด้วย
ไปเหมือนเข้ากันเลยไปดูอีดั
อ๋อพูดถึงข้าวกับคนที่ขี่รถไกลไปมึงจะไปใส่อีกกำอ้าวว่ะ
โอ้ยเมื่อคืนน่ะ
Well, we've come back to our little corner spot. 20-year-old cat. I think he just wants to sleep. All right, guys, going to end the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Just kind of hung out. Did nothing today. Anyway, thanks for listening to me earlier, blah, blah, blah. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the next happy No Time to Be Sad video. Bye. You happy?
Sabai.
Happy? Everybody's happy. I'm happy. We're all happy. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.